Hi, and welcome to Dramatic Knits. My name is Steve, also known as Dramatic Knits.
And I'm Callie, also known as Casters.
And today is Sunday, June 4th, 2017. This is episode 283. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back one more week. And if you're new, hopefully you enjoyed today's show. So, we're back with another episode. It's a little bit later in the day, but, as our theme for 2017 is busy, we both have been. But we've been able to carve out some time to sit down and chat with you all this weekend and catch up with you these past 2 weeks. So, I think we should roll right into our 2 weeks in review.
Yes.
I'm officially a full-time independent dyer of yarn and fiber. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, my mind is exploding with the crazy awesomeness. Mind blown. So last time we spoke, I had 2 more days of school. Finals went off without a hitch. I was asked several times how I was doing on my last day, and I said, I'm fine. I said it was a bit rough, like walking to my truck the last time, walking into the building, and we had a little, we had a little cookout on Tuesday of finals. Anyway, last day. And so we get like a checklist that you have to have signed off by a bunch of people to be released from the building. And I was fine. I almost lost it walking out of the building. And I was like, no, I can do this. I can hold it. It's not, that big of a deal. Life changes, blah, 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 blah. And I walk in the door and Andy's like, so, you're done? And I said, yep. I said it was a bit rough, but I got through today. And then all of a sudden I just lost it. I lost it. It was a quick losing it, but I'm like, I don't know why I'm crying. And I was like, it's been 8 years is a long time. And it was only maybe a couple of minutes. But I'm not, if you know me, I am not a crier. I'll cry more to movies and plays and things of that nature, artistic works, than I will in my real life. And so I couldn't even look at Andy. I turned around. I was like, don't look at me. And so, it was a little bit emotional to be part of a community for so long and to grow professionally and personally over that time and to, then separate yourself from it. Again, I'm going to go back and sub, but it's going to be on a different capacity. So, but yeah, it's been nice not having to get up with an alarm clock, and I have been working very hard, but I've had a lot of people ask me over the last week, so what's it like now? And I can tell you, I don't know, because it just feels like summer break though too. Mm-hmm. I said, ask me in August when I start seeing the school buses go by, and I don't have, I don't ever get to see that. I'm always at work before school starts, right? So, so there's that. So I've just been dyeing yarn. Like, that's my life now. So, I did vend this weekend at the Hoosier Hills Fiber Festival. My sister joined me. So that was fun too. It was fun and yet nerve-wracking. I knew I could do it, but I didn't have a whole lot of confidence in myself to pull off a show by myself without Andy and do it well. And I think we've got it down to a science now that everything was fine. I was able to drive the truck and trailer. I didn't like it, but I drove it there and back. Going around Indianapolis on a Thursday afternoon after lunch is busier than all get out. But yet on a Saturday early evening, it wasn't that bad. But yeah, and to all of you who stopped by and said that you watched the podcast, thank you so much. I never really know how to react to that. I don't know if you ever feel that way when people are like, I watched the podcast, and you're like, thank you. We really do appreciate you guys coming out, and if we ever, either one, especially me, if I seem awkward, that's just me. Yeah. So, I can actually be more of a fool in front of the camera than necessarily in front of people. So,
I'm a little bit more blunt in real life, if you ever get the chance to meet me. So, yes.
We both can be to a certain extent, but This one over here.
I wear the crown.
She says it like it is.
It is.
All right. So speaking of what it is, what has your past 2 weeks been?
Speaking of being blunt, so the last 2 weeks have been really crazy for me. Work has been picking up pretty steadily. We have our 2 interns, which is great, and I gave them 2 very large projects that, were kind of ambitious projects that if we ever got time, it would be great to have them do it. So they are, one of them is complete, and the other is being completed. When I left on Friday for vacation, so I had Friday off. I will have tomorrow, which is Monday, off. I'll have Tuesday off, and then I have part of a day on Wednesday. So that'll be nice. And that because I was at 5 weeks of vacation, and that now drops me down to 4.5. So yay for that. But that is going. I was a part of a wedding. I was a bridesmaid, and that wedding gave me more stress than I would like to admit, because the bride and I have 2 very different leadership styles, as well as organization styles, as well as courtesy. And I love the bride very much, and she knows that. And she knows that I only want the best for her. But it was very extremely stressful for me. But it went about as well as I thought it would go. It went a little bit better than I thought it would.
I noticed a slight eye twitch when you said that. I'm gonna put it out there.
It is what it is. It's done. It's over. I will say that it was about 87 degrees, and there was sweat rolling off of me and everybody else. So I did not feel alone in my sweating. But yeah, I know I looked good. I know I killed it. So it's like a report card. But other than that, I'm really looking forward to having tomorrow off from work. And Tuesday I go to meet David Sedaris, which I'm really excited about. And Wednesday it'll be nice to kind of have half a day to just kind of roll into.
Ease back into the work schedule.
Yeah. So that's basically what my 2 weeks have been like. Crazy. And so glad to be done with my bridesmaids' duties. Yay.
Cool beans. All right, moving on. So, taking about this episode, I've got 2 items.
2?
2.
Say it ain't so.
Who would have thunk it? All right, so first, something that you've seen. I finished the Pop-Tart Pop Art Hat by Sarah Abram. And this was knit out of some yarn that I got from my local yarn store, Les Moutons Rouge Knittery in Bloomington, Illinois. And the black is Barocco Voyage in color number 4034, which is Kettle. And the teal green is Sandsgarn Alpaca in 6765. Teal. And I did end up doing a very large pom-pom. I was going to go down a size. No, you always need the largest pom-pom. So even my mom was impressed with said pom-pom and hat, which she's very, very rarely impressed with my knitwear anymore. But with the alpaca, you can, I don't know if you can see, probably not when I compress the video and you won't be able to see the quality as much, but it is a little halo-y, fuzzy, whatnot, but it is what it is. I think this is going to go to my niece for Christmas this year. So, as it still is small. When I blocked it, I wet blocked it, and then I had to, with all my strength, get it on a mannequin head. And if you've used a styrofoam mannequin head, you know that they are smaller than any human's head. Adult human. So this is going to a small toddler for Christmas. So, and hopefully they won't have to wash it to destroy the pom-pom. And I tried to get it on there pretty darn good. So, but still, if you throw this in the wash, it's just gonna disintegrate, much like if you've been a long-time viewer, the famous pom-pom incident with Ernest way back when. So I finished that, and that's fine and dandy.
That turned out really nice. While small, it still is a very wonderful hat.
Yes, and I would recommend, doing a gauge swatch. I highly recommend the pattern. It's super simple color work, especially if you've never done color work. But I would gauge swatch or, definitely, gauge swatch, and then try to rip back and go up needle sizes, maybe. To be honest with you, the needle sizes from what I'm used to knitting were small for worsted weight. And then usually you're supposed to go up with color work too, so I don't know. But I did finish another hat, and this is another basic stockinette hat with 2 inches of 2x2 ribbing out of Leading Men Fiber. It's Box Office, which is our worsted weight, using a size 6 and 8 US, 6 on the rim brim and 8 on the stockinette. And this is actually our new colorway for the month of June. It's called Independent Will, and I'll show you it knit up, but I will also put in a picture later on in the podcast. It is a speckled yarn, but we have a couple different ways we speckle yarn. This one is more of the kind of mottled speckled, I'd maybe call it. And I'm really happy with it, guys, especially when I show you the picture later on with the inspiration photo. You may have seen it on Instagram. Really, not to toot my own horn, I was really impressed with. I really think I knocked it out of the park. So I was really happy with it. You guys seem to be liking it. Pre-orders are up in the shop now, which again I'll talk about later. I'm kind of running into everything here, but you guys seem to be liking it so far. So, and as you can see, I did go down from what I've been doing hats, the basic hats on. They were a little bit bigger. I cast on 88 stitches instead of 96, and I only did 7 inches before I started my decreases. So there's that. So I think it fits. My head's pretty big, and so I think if it is on multiple levels. I think it fits my head well, which means it would give somebody with a smaller head just the littlest bit of slouch. Yeah, no.
Soups hipster. I was at the Lincoln Museum today in Springfield, and they had a kid's shirt, and it had Abe Lincoln on it, and it had him in his bow tie and suit, and the stovepipe hat, and red glasses on it, and said Lincoln, and Lincoln across the top, and then on the bottom curve of the text it said the original hipster.
There may or may not be billboards in Decatur, Illinois, for a bank called Land of Lincoln, with Lincoln's face to the side, and a white Band-Aid right here that says "It's getting hot in her" for mortgage and auto loans. You guys might not get the reference. I totally didn't either. Something about Band-Aids on the face with what kids wear, hip music people now. Or is it a Nelly thing?
Well, I mean, Nelly is from St. Louis, though, so I guess it's kind of a little weird.
He is performing at the
State Fair.
No, he's performing. I think it's at the Decatur Celebration this summer.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So that may be it too. He's going to be performing this, so maybe that's kind of there.
Because his first album cover has his head tilted, and it's not really a Band-Aid, though.
No, it's like a white thing. So yeah, they're definitely playing off his first album because it's Lincoln. Yeah.
Sweet. The Decatur Celebration's gonna be on and bopping, y'all.
Never gone. Never. I don't think I will go. It's the hottest time of the year, and
it's always crazy. It's always crazy.
Anyway, so let's move on to what's performing, because do you have any finished objects?
I don't.
Okay, so let's move on to what's performing. I'm going to let you talk for just a few minutes.
All right, so I am weaving in ends right now. So
weaving in ends.
It's all right. But I have the first part of my first sock done. I only have the heel left, but this is the inside, but not really any different from the outside. This is Fancy Pants Fibers in the Fireflies colorway, I am using a size 0 US needle. It's going well. I like the finished sock thus far, so I'm gonna finish it, and I think I might make a second one. This seems reasonable to me.
You know.
You know.
It is what it is.
So that's all I'm working on actively.
All right. So, what am I working on? First off, I was giving some love to my Rogers-esque. I don't even remember the name, guys. Rogers-esque cardigan jacket by Mary Townsend. I couldn't talk yesterday either. I swear. I sit in silence most of the day and either listen to podcasts and occasionally talk to the dogs, so my linguistic skills are going to go down the crapper. This is out of Barocco Weekend DK in color number 2144, which is squash. Knit on a size 3 and 5 US, which is 3.25 and 3.75 millimeter needles. Alright, so I was working on the second sleeve, and I've got 6 increases done. I've got to do 3 more. They're done every inch. And then I will go straight up till I have to shape the top of the sleeve. So, you know, I'll have a sweater done just in time for the hottest part of the year. But flip that around, and I'll have a sweater ready to wear the minute the leaves start falling this fall. So, it is what it is, right? Ain't nobody gonna rush me. Alright, after that, I've been working on my Find Your Fade. I did take this with me. We're bending this weekend, and I worked on it in the hotel at night, both nights. And I am in the lace section of my 6th color, and then I will soon be melding into the 7th and final color, and there's no lace. It's just garter at the end. So, currently I'm working with, which one is it? Wandering Wool's Ossible Sock in Knitting in the Nashville Night colorway, which we got as an SSK color.
2014.
Yeah, it was the first time you went, right?
Yep. I know, because I have it still.
It's so huge. I showed it to my sister. She's like, that's a blanket. But, so big. So big. So, as you can see, there are some holes down here, maybe. No. Oh, yeah. Against the white background. There's lace. And so we're in there. And there. Why couldn't she come out with Free Your Fade first? That's only 3 skeins. Why couldn't that become popular? Well, it is. And the So Faded sweater she had in the middle there. But anyway.
A lot of fades.
Fades are all the rage right now. Speckles and fades. And yeah, I'm just going to say there may be something coming in the works for ZK that's going to premiere in our booth at ZK that has speckles and fades. So, yes I am. Maybe a kit. Sweater kit. Just saying.
Sweater?
Sweater weather.
Sweater weather?
You know, late June. It's sweater weather. In Minnesota, you never know. No, it's actually always been rather warm up there. So I'm working on that, and that's being knit on a size 4 US, which is 3.5 millimeter needles. Okay, you ready for some more?
I'm ready.
Okay, if you are working on the Joji Locatelli Mystery Knit Along, the starting point Mystery Knit Along, and you do not want to be spoiled, I am about halfway, if not a little bit more, through Clue 3. Clue 4 just got released yesterday. No, that's a lie. Yesterday was Saturday. Clue 4 got released like Thursday night. I just printed it off today, but if you don't, excuse me, if you don't want to be surprised, look away now. Fast forward for a minute or two. Alright, you got it? Okay. So I'm knitting mine all out of Leading Men Fiber Art Show Stealer, and here's where we're at. And again, you are supposed to knit 2 of everything. I am still only knitting 1, and then I will go back and do the whole process again up through Clue 4, because she's told us that you have to have both pieces to do Clue 5, which makes sense because you're going to somehow be putting them together. Here's where I'm at.
Ooh.
And I really do like the way that it's popping on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So the gray is London Fog, The green is double your pleasure. The speckle is a custom speckle that I did with all the semi-solid colors, maybe to come out later this year. We'll see. The gold is smoky quartz, and the black is darkest hour. So, there's that. And that's knit on a size, 6 US, which is 4mm needles. Ooh, I'm gonna sneeze, guys. Can't talk, gonna sneeze,
I was getting my makeup done yesterday for the wedding, and the makeup artist was putting my mascara on, and I almost had to sneeze, and I was like, I'm going to get stabbed in the eye. And I'm not ready for it. But I didn't.
Alright, the last thing I need to show you, yes, there's more. I did cast on something for show knitting, because, when I'm selling yarn, I should maybe knit on my own yarn.
You never know.
I could have knit on the starting point, but one, you don't want to ruin it for somebody, and two, I don't really want to follow a pattern. I need something that I can easily drop down, pick up, because that's what did happen all weekend. So I decided, you know what? It's been a while, Callie, since I've knit a Father Time cowl.
It has.
If you do not know, Father Time is a pattern that I designed. It's super simple. It's 2 rows. It's free on Ravelry. If you need a perfect project, much like the boomerang, for 1 skein of fingering weight, really great for variegated yarns that you pick up and you go, must have pretty colors, but you don't know what you're going to knit with it. This is really good for it because the pattern breaks up any pooling or flashing that you may have. But I decided to pick out one of our recently dyed sock blanks. I didn't even name it. I took it out, upstairs from drying, and I was just like, okay, I'm going to take this to knit on. So there's no name. This is what the sock blank looks like. Our sock blanks are single-stranded, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. You get 463 yards. Same base, same yardage as a skein of Showstopper. So you can see the speckly goodness there. This is kind of our custom dye technique that I do. If you don't see it like this, probably Andy dyed it. Sometimes he does sock blanks and he does his own thing. He gets creative up in there. Up in her. So, I am knitting the Father Time. And there's a lot of stitches on here. As I tell people, I don't count anymore. You need a multiple of 2. And so if I have an odd number, I just yarn over knit 1 on the first pattern round and I fudge the numbers. So here's what it's looking like so far. It's just the mesh. That's all the Father Time cowl is. It's some garter and mesh. But it opens up and it lays really nicely. This, my friends, though, is my first Mobius. Unintentional. But I had pretty much the one downfall of this was you cast on a lot of stitches. So you think you're untwisting and making everything right, but we were watching TV and I was like, I'm pretty darn sure it's on. And then I knit all the garter and I did the first round of the pattern and I went, pretty sure this isn't continuous. And so what a Mobius is, guys, if you don't know, if you look right here, see where it's twisted? My stitches were twisted when I connected them. Now, one way you could hopefully try to avoid this is, and it probably would have been better and easier for me, I do about 4 or 5 rounds of garter, which means I knit, knit, purl, and then I knit, which is the first technical round of the pattern stitch. I could have just knit flat for 4 rounds and then joined it and just seamed up that little bit. And that would have given me more to see and make sure. And it would have been quicker rather than purling however many stitches this is. So just in the future, just keep that in mind. I should take my own advice sometimes. But it is what it is. I do like the way that the color's knitting up. When you knit from a sock blank, especially ours, a lot of times your colors get a little bit more muted than when they were on the blank. And so it just has very subtle speckling going on in here of those colors. So, and that's knit on a size 4, which is a 3.5 US millimeter needle as well. That's all that I am working on. Moving on. In rehearsal, I'm going to say I have nothing. Who knows? I may cast something else on, but I don't have anything planned to be knitting on.
I will probably cast on for our featured designer Cal, which, perfect segue, has started. June 1 was the start date, and will conclude on August 31. You can use any pattern, free or paid for, gift or bought yourself, from our list of featured designers. There is a contest thread for finished objects. The rules and regulations are in there, so check that out. But basically, it can be any of those patterns from any of those designers. One pattern or one finished object per post. If you use any base of Leading Men Fiber Arts, then you can post your finished object in the finished object thread twice.
And I did notice she posted a chatter thread and an FO thread. So if you want to post your picture in the chatter thread and get talking about it, that's fine. But to be entered in the drawing, you have to be in the FO. There is also a separate thread that
is locked and stickied at the top of our group page.
It is, but it's also going to be edited because there's a bunch of new designers that need to be added.
Right.
And I looked at like mine, even though it's stickied, mine didn't necessarily show up at the top because it's so. I think it's because it's from last year. So just look into the thread if you need to go to more in our group to see more. But there is a separate thread that has been locked and sticky, and we'll add all of the featured designers from this past year as well.
Yep.
So, and thank you again to all of those designers who have agreed to work with us in the past. And we have a new designer we'll be talking about a little bit later on in the show. All right, so moving right along, my spinning, I forgot to bring over one finished bobbin. I am so close to finishing spinning the singles of Three Waters Farm Organic Polworth in the Light in the Trees colorway. So I'm hoping to show you some finished yarn next time we record. All right, so let's move into the spotlight. What are we watching and reading? Excuse me. I'm drinking, but, you know, it happens to the best of us. What am I watching? I am reading something, but I'm not done with it, so I listen to it while I spin. It's taking me a while to get through it, and it's only subpar. So I am watching two shows. Andy and I are staying up to date with the Starz show American Gods, which is was originally written by Neil Gaiman. We're still enjoying it. It's a little quirky. It's a little out there, but highly recommended. Again, it's a prime time or a premiere channel, so there's nudity, there's vulgarity. Just be prepared for that. On Netflix, I am watching Penny Dreadful, and I'm in season 2. I think I first heard about this on the Bull and Vine podcast, but I actually had it in my queue for a while. I wanted to watch it when it was on Showtime, and I kind of wish I would, because there's only 3 seasons. They ended it after 3 seasons. I guess the ratings were going down, but it stars Josh Hartnett, who was like a heartthrob back in the day and kind of fell off the planet and then was in this series. And I don't know her name, but she is the lead actress in Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. She was Miss Peregrine. So she's one of the lead actresses in there, and then, a lot of British actors. But it is kind of set at the late 19th century, so the later 1800s. I always do that where you get those mixed up. But basically, it's kind of like all of those turn of the century horror stories kind of mishmashed into one. So you have Dr. Frankenstein and his work while he's working with a seance. There's a werewolf, and there are vampires and things of that nature. So kind of all of that rolled into one. It doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's still good. The production on it is very well done. The costumes and set design and everything are very well done. So that's what I've been watching.
That's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I finished it before the last time we recorded, but I finished Gabby Sidibe's This Is My Face, Try Not to Stare. Her memoir. It was really good. I highly recommend it. Not this just past weekend, but the last weekend, I was in St. Louis, and my favorite bookstore really I have two. I love Left Bank Books in St. Louis. It's in the Central West End. And I also really love Anderson's Bookshop, which is in Naperville and downtown Downers Grove as well. They're both independent bookstores. I don't have a problem with large chains. However, I do like to support local when I can. And Left Bank had the, I don't know if you would call it a memoir. It's an interesting tale, if you will, but it's by Ashley Graham, who has been a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. She's also done a lot of catalog modeling. I think she might have been a Victoria's Secret angel at one point or another. She has her own lingerie line. She is branded as a plus-size model. And so it's kind of she is telling her story about how she got into modeling. That's where I'm at in the book right now. But later on, based on the chapter descriptions that she has, she's going to talk about body positivity and that kind of thing. If I'm going to be real honest, probably going from Gabby Sidibe, who is kind of like my spirit animal, to this was a little bit disappointing, but I think that in terms of writing style, but I think if I would have read this a little bit later, then I think I would have probably liked it. But I also picked up, in case if you are a fan, there is a new Otis Redding biography out, and it is really good thus far. And I cannot remember the name of it right now, but I grabbed the last copy that Left Bank had. But it literally came, I was in the store on Friday and the book came out on Wednesday, and I knew that they were probably going to get it, because that's how Left Bank does. So awesome. I was excited about that. As far as TV goes, I'm not really watching a whole lot. I've been mostly trying to read, so that's where I'm at.
Cool beans. All right, so what else do we have going on? I can live by these show notes today. We talked about the feature designer knit along, so we're going to roll right into stash enhancement. Yes, I do have some stash enhancement. So I've ended at a show, and I did some trading with two people, and my girls, Beth and Meg out of Twisted Fiber Art, who do the most amazing gradients you will ever see. Mm-hmm. I did some trading with them, and I got their Kabam medium evolution. Their evolutions are their gradients, and Kabam is in 60% superwash merino, 30% bamboo, 10% nylon. The medium evolution comes with 400 yards and is 100 grams, and this is in the Big Bad Wolf colorway. So I told them to just bring me something, and Meg brought about 6 options, and my sister picked this color. So I have no idea what I'm going to make with this. If you have some suggestions, you can definitely leave them in this episode thread. I'm open to some awesome suggestions. Fingering weight, 400 yards, and I'm interested to work with their bamboo blend, so that was something new. And then my girl Joanna at Knitspin Farm, who does amazing project bags and bats and spinning fiber now. I traded with her for some superwash Targi, and it's 4 ounces. It does not have a colorway name. I called it Moody. So it's got these greens and grays and bluish periwinkles in them. So that'll be fun to spin up. And then a very generous soul donated yarn, and I got my hands on it. I'll leave it at that. But very, very awesome. Some awesome autumnal colors. So I picked up some Miss Babs Tart in the Biker Chick colorway, because I knew what this was before I even looked at the tag. And Tart is a 75% superwash merino, 15% nylon, 10% tencel, 500 yards of a fingering weight. And this is Biker Chick. Again, don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. And then I got a skein of Volmeise Twin in the Weird Different, but it was labeled as Raku Regenbogen. I don't speak German at all, I'm sorry. So it's very autumnal, oranges and green and reds and golds. And I thought about maybe just doing a simple triangle shell with this and then the colors speak.
That would be pretty.
Not a boomerang necessarily, just a triangle. I haven't done one of those in years.
Right?
My first hand-dyed yarn ever. I remember I did that Bruised Eagle one,
Mm-hmm.
and you modeled it on the old front porch. It's been a long time.
I drive by every once in a while just to see how
That
the house is
looks
doing.
like crap!
It does.
But it wasn't ever our house, really, so it was we rented it from Andy's dad, and the people who got it for a steal let it go down the crapshoot.
Yep.
And then tried to sell it for a lot more money. So anyway, the last one I got was Tosh Merino Light in the saffron colorway. So it's nice to build up my Tosh Merino Light stash. I got quite a bit of Tosh Merino Lights. Anyway, so that was some stash enhancement on my end. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of a wool peg.
That's okay.
Do you have anything?
I do not. Not that I brought, at least. Last time I brought something you didn't have, Stash, so we skipped over it.
Oh. Girl knows you can interrupt me.
But we can all pretend that it didn't happen.
All right, we have a new giveaway this week. So, from a generous donator, we actually have, there's going to be 4 skeins. I'm only bringing out one. 4 skeins of Knit Picks Wonder Fluff. That's so fluffy. In the Sweet Pea Heather colorway, this is 70% baby alpaca, 7% merino, 23% nylon, 142 yards, and 50 grams. So you get approximately, 580 yards of a bulky weight. So, you could do a little kid's jacket, some hats, but you'll get 4 skeins of this, and this is up for grabs. For a contest, you must be a member of the Dramatic Knits group. You can only post once to be entered, and you must answer the prompt that I came up with this week. So this episode's prompt for the giveaway is, what's the first thing you think of in the morning? I'm not going to lie. 98% of us are probably going to go, pee. I mean, let's be honest, right? You're like, gotta go. Gotta go right now.
You know what? The first thing I think of when I wake up is I have my phone is my alarm, and I have it set to music, and I start thinking about the next part of the lyrics, which, if you know me, is my music selection can be pretty rando, so.
Just a scotch. Actually, sometimes, most of the time I wake up and I go, how much pain am I in? My back's been locking up, hence we've had this discussion, right? We bought into the Sleep Number adjustable bed, and usually I get up, so maybe it's not peak, because usually, I'm 31 and I usually get up once, if not twice, in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. But I usually get up like between 4 and 5 in the morning to go to the bathroom, and when I come back, I sit up my bed, and I sit sleeping up for the last hour or 2 or however, because my back hurts, and so it helps to relieve some of the pain. It's not perfect, but it's usually like, is it going to hurt rolling over? Is it going to hurt getting up? How much pain am I in? That's me, but anyway, I want to know what you guys think of. Don't feel bad if you gotta say pee.
Yeah.
I mean, we all
It's
do
a natural thing.
We all do it. Everybody poops, everybody pees.
Yep.
All
There's
right.
a book.
There is a book. Show title. There's a book. I'm going to keep it. You'll have to wonder. Wonder Fluff.
There's a book on that.
All right, let's move into a round of applause. So last episode, we were giving away a wonderful project bag from Anne at the Silver Shed, USA. And where'd that bag go, Steve?
Well, I believe it is. See, notice how I just answered.
Not going to take it out of the bag. I said that last time, but I'm really not. It's in this bingo fabric, and it's double the width of that.
Mm-hmm.
It is a new size that she was offering.
Medium which?
It is the medium, but I think it's an extended. It's wider. We talked about how it'd be perfect for like multiple balls, like maybe the mystery knit along where you could line them up on the inside. So I used a random bingo generator, and the first number to be picked was G52. And I do have to laugh before I tell you who won. I don't know if some of you maybe just have never played bingo. But there were some interesting number letter combinations that I was like, that's cute. Not eligible, but cute. Not that I'm a hardcore bingoer. I mean, there are people who play it every day of the week.
Got their trolls lined up, got their daubers out. Sheets need a half a table to themselves.
And now they have the computers, so you got the computers, you're doing the paper, the computer, the paper, the computer. Yeah, I did the computer, I think, last time. Just for...
chagrins.
Because I never win. So I was like, maybe I can increase my odds. Anyway, G52. I had to go through 4 pages of entries till we got to G52, but somebody did pick it. And that was number 94, who is Knitter Chow. And that's Kathy from Michigan. And it was so awesome that Kathy won. I was telling Callie. Because I've met Kathy now 3 times, but twice previously at the Fall Fiber Expo in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where she's local to. And she is wonderful, and we've chatted with her, and she likes to bring Andy and I little gifts to the show, which is not needed by any means, but just so appreciated. She always, it ups her spirits when she comes and visits us. Well, lo and behold, her and her friend decided to travel down to the Hoosier Hills Fiber Festival this weekend and take some dyeing classes and to catch up, and she brought some gifts for me again, and so it just was so serendipitous that she won. So congratulations, Kathy. Please send me your mailing address with Dramatic Knits on Ravelry, and I will get the project bag out to you. So congratulations. And I do hope that you get in a good couple of rounds of bingo, Kathy, so you can enjoy your bingo bag. All right. We were asked by some lovely podcasters to talk about a summer podcast knit along that's going on. So I'm going to read you what they sent me so that I don't miss anything. We are not taking part in this knit along, this craft along that's going on, but there are a multitude of podcasters out there who are, so we just kind of we were asked to share the information and get it out so everybody can enjoy, and if you're so inclined, feel free to join. So, it says, this summer, from June 1st to August 31st, a bunch of lovely podcasters have joined together to host a craft-along. The theme? Stripes. The podcasters are Emily and Stephanie from Anders Mill Knits, Karen from Simply Stashless, Amy from Hudson Valley Knits, and Helen from Giddy Knits. So, these are all new podcasts to me. So, definitely check them out. If I get some time over the summer, I will be as well. Come and join in on the fun and community in the craft along. We are welcoming all crafts, knitting, crochet, weaving, spinning, sewing, embroidery, etc. To enter, join the group on Ravelry, Summer Stripe Along, CAL. Again, there's a group on Ravelry. It is Summer Stripe Along, CAL. Tag your projects with the hashtag SSACAL, which are the initials from the group, on Instagram and Twitter. All fiber projects must consist of a minimum of 50 grams of fiber. All fabric projects must contain a minimum of 3/4 of a yard. There will be swaps, virtual hangouts, and prizes. They hope you'll join them this summer, and that comes from Emily and the rest of the Summer Stripe Along team. So we'll hope if you like stripes, join on in. All right, so that being said, let's go to our winners for the May 2017 Race to the Finished Object Contest. May's over, y'all. We're in June. We got the toes in the sand of June. Soon it's going to be a full foot, and then you're going to just be immersed. Immersed in the lake of June.
It's crazy how fast 2017 has gone. I don't know if y'all are in the same boat, but I feel like it has been super speedy at times and dragging at others. I don't think that's with any part of with any year that you have, but I feel like as an adult, like, when you're not like in school, or if you are, I mean, I shouldn't say that. I mean, like,
mouth.
If you're in school in terms of like, if you went to college or, if you went to college right after high school and you had that, like, you had your years in grade, junior high, and high school, and then college, and then it's like real world, you know. It just feels like
life speeds up as
life
you get
speeds
older.
up. Yeah.
As you get older,
Just working in the real world stuff. I joke not about being a trophy wife. I mean, like, I would still work and stuff, but like, I want a sugar daddy.
I'm almost there. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty darn close. I'm skating on some thin ice. You know I am.
I know.
I mean, anyway.
I tell everybody, everybody at the gym knows I'm looking for a sugar daddy. And my personal trainer dude is like, yeah, right. And I was like, well, you could technically be a cub, because there is a lot of older women that are hitting on him.
Anyway,
I don't
going
even care.
out way into left field. Let's talk about some free yarn somebody won. All right, so I pulled this hefty skein of Bernat Handicrafter cotton. I understand it may not be the hand-dyed yarn, but I figure it's some beautiful summer colors. Cotton's a great summer yarn to use, and, you know.
First of all, can we just acknowledge the fact of this free pattern on the label? Right here. Who wouldn't want that? Please, if you win this and you make this,
you need to send us a
you
picture.
need to send it. You need to ear burn me. I need to know. This is giving me life. Okay? Look at that.
And the winner of this from the May Race to the Finished Object contest is number 159, who is Purple Ducks, and that is Penny from Texas. So not only is it a great summer yarn, it's cotton, beautiful, you know, summery colors, but it's also going to Texas, so you never know.
Penny. This is where it's at.
It's going to be hot this summer. You're going to want to think of ice cream.
Okay.
Get in on ice cream. But this is the Sweets and Delights line. You get 12 ounces or 340 grams. There's approximately 608 yards here. I'd say probably a worsted weight. Guys, I'm trying not to sneeze. Don't mind me. It's like right there. It's sitting right there. So, Penny, congratulations. Please email me, Dramatic Knits, on Ravelry with your first and last name and mailing address, and I'll get this out to you as soon as I can. Now, the pattern prize, we did not have a featured designer. This is the first time in a long time, but we have a new one lined up. We actually have 2 lined up for the next 6 months. But this winner, you're going to contact Callie. She doesn't know, but I'm going to tell her right now.
Nope.
And what are we going to say? $6?
Yep.
Okay, $6 max. You're going to contact Callie, let her know what pattern of all of Ravelry that is giftable.
Yep.
And you get that pattern. So that number goes to 139, who is Frugal Knitter, and that's Diana. Okay?
And Diana, my rule is it's up to $6. So if you have 2 patterns that are 3 and 3 or 2 and 4 or whatever the combination is, or if there's more, whatever, as long as it adds up to $6, I'm good. Just let me know.
Sounds good. So congratulations to Purple Ducks and Frugal Knitter. Thanks for showing us what you finished this past month. So we have our June 2017 Race to the Finished Object contest up. We'll have another lovely prize that will be drawn from this wonderful closet behind me, which hosts a multitude of prizes from wonderful viewers like you who have felt very generous with their, yarny goodness and have decided to pass them on to use for this podcast. So thank you. If you ever feel like you want to donate to the podcast, please contact either one of us. We can work that out. So we have a prize, and we have a new featured designer for our pattern prize for June, July, and August, and that is Barbara Benson. And so I will link to her pattern page on our show notes, which can be found at dramaticknits.com. She has a lot of wonderful designs, and last month she came out with a beautiful 2-colored shawl called Ready Player One. It was the first pattern when I looked at her page today, and it was beautiful. And she's really works with mosaic knitting and lace knitting together. She, in fact, just had a book come out in March called Mosaic and Lace Knitting. So definitely check it out. Check her out. And I highly recommend. I like a lot of her designs. So I'm really glad that a viewer, one of you guys, reached out to her through Facebook and said, hey, I think you should email Dramatic Knits. And she did, and we were able to feature her. So thank you so much to the viewer. Thank you so much to Barbara. And definitely check out her patterns. All right. So, is there anything else you want to add before we move into center stage very quickly?
No.
Okay.
Not that you won't let me talk about it, at least.
You can keep talking once I hit the stop button.
Just kidding.
We don't want this to be like, 70 hours. Because then they won't see it until the next time we record, because it'll take that long to upload. All right. So let's move into center stage. First things first. So, like I said, our new colorway called Independent Will is inspired by a Jane Eyre photo. I'm going to be completely honest. A lot of you love Jane Eyre. I'm going to be completely honest. So Sarah of the Love Sock Wool podcast reached out to me a couple of months ago and said, hey, I'm going to do a Bronte along. Would you be interested in doing a colorway inspired by a Bronte book or Jane Eyre? And I said, I would love to, but I've never read one of their books. I believe I tried to read Jane Eyre at one point. It just wasn't going to happen. So, but to those of you who do love those books, you do love them, and you're very hardcore. So there's nothing against that. So I said, hey, you're going to help me out if you want to send me some inspiration photos. And she did. So, boy, did she. She sent me a lot. She was so excited. So I chose one of those photos, and that's what this color, which I'm going to insert a picture here, looks like. And so I really think I was able to pull from the inspiration photos. And so even though I may not have read the books, I think that it was a wonderful collaboration with Sarah. So I wanted to say thank you very much, Sarah, for working with me and allowing me to kind of be creative with your help. So pre-orders for this are up through June 8th. At that point, the morning of June 9th, pre-orders will go down. And you could, of course, always custom order the colorway. And we will start eventually carrying it in the booth as well if you visit us at shows. There was a couple people who asked for it this weekend, and I said, fortunately, no, we didn't have it. I barely had enough time to get all the bases dyed up to take pictures. So, but, no? Okay. She didn't want my hat. She wasn't quick enough. You were? Do you remember that Geico commercial? With the old guy of the dollar?
Yeah.
Oh, gotta be quick enough. Gotta be. Boy, we get punchy when we record at night. Maybe we should just record at night. I don't know. All right, so let me show you with some teaser stuff, things that I'm going to update this week that haven't been updated yet. So right before I left for the show, I got a new soliloquy gradient set done on our Merlot colorway. So each one of the mini skeins are... Why are you laughing? Because my nose is running?
No,
I'm trying not to sneeze here. Leave me alone.
No, every time when you talk about the Merlot colorway, I think about the Justin Timberlake and Lady Gaga SNL skit where they're down at Liquorville, and they, Lady Gaga she's a wine bottle, or wine glass, and she goes, it's Merlot, anyways, just YouTube it. It's great. That's what I think about.
I think Kelly should link that YouTube video in our episode thread for this week. Challenge accepted?
Can do.
Okay. So, anyway, each mini skein is 130 yards or 30 grams. You get a total of 650 yards. So that's going to be coming here in the next couple of days. Make sure you're following us on Instagram and Facebook. And then I have a new Show Stealer mini skein set. These are 20 grams each or 86 yards for a total of 430 yards. You've got Anne's Story, Damn Straight, Cherry Blossoms, Into the Woods, and Steve and Andy. So it's a variegated pack. All right, what's actually been updated to the shop? On Showcase, we have Midsummer. She can maybe get a little closer. Hey, how's it going? All right. Dramaturg, our DK Wade, we have You Betcha. But then it's blown out with our fake sunlight. Can you tell we're recording at night? No? Magic. It's magic, I tell you. Diva, which is our relatively new base, 80% superwash merino, 20% silk. We've got Vintage sleigh ride. Boy, I am on a roll today. It's that nap. It did me in. Gave me some energy. Show Stealer, our MCN base. We've got Shadows in the Trees. Spotlight, which is a 80% superwash BFL, 20% nylon. We have And Then There's Mode. Yeah, just sang a little bit for you. Would never do that in real life, just sitting with people, but I'll do it in front of a camera and a multitude of viewers.
You also sang the wrong song lyrics, too.
Whatever. I know the Family Guy version of the song, Anyway. Showstopper. Punk rock highlights. Yeah, that's blown out. Some fluorescent orange and pinks. Everybody needs a little punk rock in their life. Box office worsted weight. We got Apocalypse. Ooh, don't be fat and bend over. Diva. Metamorphosis. Show Stealer. Tiny Dancer. Again, it's blown out. Yeah, that looks nice. Looks nice right there. I'm gonna tiny dance all over your face. Spotlight, we have Orange You Jealous. No? My phone's on the desk and just vibrated. It wasn't Callie farting, don't worry.
Excuse you.
Box office, we have Popeye's Delight. And then on Show Stealer, we have All the Way to the Bank. So, that's what's in the shop. Definitely check out the shop, leadingmenfiberarts.bigcartel.com. Again, if you're not following us on Instagram or Facebook, please do that. We're also on Ravelry. The show has a Ravelry group, Dramatic Nets Video Podcast Group. We're, again, a scotch to 2,000.
It's true.
So if you haven't joined our group, come on over and do so. You can find show notes at dramaticnets.com, and you can always subscribe via iTunes and or YouTube. We'd love for you to leave us ratings or comments. Again, YouTube, if you leave comments, I'll see them. Callie may peruse them once in a while, but there's no real way for her to be ear burned on that. So anyway, so
Yeah.
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 Until next time,
We hope you.
knit something dramatic.